Good afternoon, Robin, or good morning, I guess. Lily, good afternoon. Just a quick check. Is the audio all coming through okay? Oh, fab. Excellent.
Hi, Jomo.
Hey, Joy, how are you?
All right. All is well?
All is well. Yeah, I had a wonderful delivery this morning, which brightened my day. So I knock at the door at 8 o'clock with a guy with a huge parcel full of rum. So it was
Cool. So you have everything. Good.
Yeah. How's the show going so far?
All right.
Good.
A good time with Dawn this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just jumped on from that. Just jumped on from that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had a chance to look around many of the other stands and shows that are going on.
Yeah, I scanned around. Lots of whiskey going on.
So much. Yeah, I've been jumping around a few this afternoon as well.
Mm-hmm. Lots of things going on.
Yep.
You see Robin on. There's Robin.
It's good. All starting to arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Bring people with you as well.
Yeah, hi, Peter.
Oh, fantastic. Have you got the tasting pack with you, Pat?
Yeah?
Just change the chap in the chat.
Okay.
He's got his sample pack as well, so we're tasting along.
Oh, yes, a sample pack. Oh, Robin is going to a masterclass with Dennis.
He's off to So what I thought we'd do, Joy, is I'll do just an introduction to how the hour's going to kind of pan out, so everyone kind of knows when we're going to be trying different things, and then just, I guess, from like an introduction from yourself, your role as master blender, what that encompasses, and then I guess a little bit about that journey that starts at the sugar cane and then ends up in the glass we have in front of us. So I think for me, that's what I find fascinating, is that journey from raw material all the way to bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give it another couple of minutes. I think there's a few more people just joining, and then we should start. I've been very good and not touched any of these rums that have been sitting on this desk since this morning.
Since the delivery. Since the
delivery. And it is flying down with rain outside the window as well. So this is going to be a nice little holiday.
We're going to have rain tomorrow, heavy rain.
Yeah.
So there's a system coming across the island. So
yeah. Okay, I think 5:45 our time. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Jono. I work for Campari as a group. I do look after the training for the bartenders that we work with all across the country, and then all of our amazing team that work all across the portfolio. But today we've got an absolutely amazing experience. We're joined by Joy Spence, who is Master Blender at Appleton Estate, an absolute icon of the rum industry. And this is just for me personally, and I think for everyone joining, just a wonderfully special experience to be taken through the rums literally by the person that has their name drawn on the bottle. So Joy, welcome. We'll start first of all from an introduction to yourself, what that role of Master Blender is in an Appleton Estate, and your journey to get there would be amazing.
Okay, so at the moment, my role as a Master Blender is really responsible for developing new liquids. So innovation is really my main focus right now. Also, I am the global ambassador where I tour the world, no pun intended, spreading the joy of rum to all the continents and letting everyone taste and understand what Appleton Estate is all about. Actually, my journey started in high school where I developed this passion for chemistry. And then I decided that I would go to university to become a medical doctor. And of course, when I went to university, I realized that there's no way I could be of any help to any patient in trauma. So I was so sorry for them that I fainted. And so I decided that I'd just continue on a straight career path to chemistry. When I completed my degree, I started to lecture in chemistry at the university, and then decided I wanted to get some industry experience. So I joined Tia Maria as a research chemist. It was a one-product operation. I was bored to tears. And so Jerry and Nebby was right next door. And I'd look across the fence. I would see tankers rolling in, people looking very busy. And I said, you know, that's a happening place to work. Maybe I should just flip my resume over there and see what happens. Set my resume. They invited me for an interview. Told me they were impressed, but they didn't have any vacancies. So I went back over and I said, well, guess that's my destiny. And then a few weeks later, I got a call to say, you know, we created a new position for you, position of chief chemist. And your objective is to actually modernize the laboratory at GRA and everything. It's like, okay, good. Went over. And then I met the previous Master Blender, Owen Tuller. And that's when my life changed. That's when I realized what a most complex, beautiful, and amazing spirit rum is. Then I realized that from the entire process, I could apply my chemistry, which is really what I wanted to do. Then I discovered that sensory analysis was a very important part of the whole operation, and that I could actually use my sensory skill to become part of my profession, you know. So I entered the profession thinking outside the box. And so Owen recognized that I had all the skill sets to become an excellent blender. And so I tutored with him for 17 years. And when he retired, I was appointed Master Blender in 1997.
Obviously, who better to take us through the sensory understanding of what we have in our glass. So what we've got over the next hour is the journey that the base material of the sugarcane takes to get into the bottles we have here. Now, there's in the chat on the right-hand side, feel free to leave questions. We're going to have a Q&A in the last sort of 10, 15 minutes. So I'll keep an eye on any questions coming in, and where I can, we'll get them answered straight away. But there's an opportunity at the end to put your questions to Joy. As we kind of go through with the different rums, there's a link actually, just if you, let me think where it is. If you just click on, I think it's polls, no? There's a click on events, sorry, which enables you to buy direct from Whiskey Exchange as well. There's actually a sample pack available to purchase, and this masterclass is being recorded and available to watch all the way through the rest of the week. So if you haven't got your hands on the rum now, you can order that sample pack and then kind of watch this back and go through that tasting as if it were a live experience. But for the people who have planned ahead and got their hands on the rum, I think it's a perfect time to start, I guess, with an understanding of Jamaica as the starting point from where all of these amazing liquids start from, and just Joy, how does the kind of geography and terroir of Jamaica become the kind of starting point for these rums?
Okay, so we actually started our first production in 1749. So we have a rich history and heritage behind our brand. And the estate is located in what is known as the Nassau Valley, which is in a very unique geographical location where you have lush sugarcane fields surrounded by these unusual limestone-shaped hills known as karst in geography. It's just small dome-shaped hills, almost reminding you of an egg box turned upside down. So it doesn't look like a traditional mountain range. Interestingly, you have membranes in those hills with water flowing through from one section of the island to the next. Now, because of this unique geography, every day at 2:30, we have daily showers of rain at Appleton. And so the land is always rich, fertile, and perfect for growing sugarcane. So we don't have to worry about artificial irrigation at Appleton because we just wait for the rain every day at 2:30. And the sugarcane is always just green, lush, and just looking very healthy. Now, we grow over 10 varieties of sugarcane, and these do have an impact on the taste and aroma profile of our rums. We harvest the sugarcane every year between January to May, so it's a 12-month crop. And we do two types of harvesting. We do mechanical, which represents 85% of the harvesting, and manual, which represents 15%. Manual harvesting is only done in areas where the sugarcane is grown on a slope and the harvester has difficulty accessing that area. So the sugarcane is sent to the sugar factory where they make sugar. And of course, the byproduct is molasses, which is the starting material for making our rums. To the molasses, we add water from a beautiful spring on our estate. And this water actually filters through those limestone hills, upwelling through a cave on our estate. And it has this amazing turquoise color. And the water has a nice, sweet, soft taste. And this too has an impact on the taste and aroma profile of our rums. In addition to the water, we add our specially cultured yeast that has been handed down since the inception of rum making at Appleton. And this yeast, actually, the first culture started from the slope of the sugar cane. And we regenerate this yeast every 3 months to keep it very live and active. So the yeast too has an impact on the taste and aroma profile of our rums. Once we add the water and the yeast to the molasses, fermentation begins. And our fermentation is in closed stainless steel vessels. It's temperature controlled, so we do not exceed a temperature of 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Fermentation is completed within 36 to 48 hours. At the end of that, we have what is known as, in the distillery, fermented wash or dead wash, which has 7% alcohol. So we now have to concentrate this to give us our final product, which is rum. And we use distillation to do this, and we use two methods. The traditional small batch copper pot still distillation method, which has been handed down since the inception of rum making. Our copper pot stills are specially designed in Scotland for us, so they have a very unique shape. And so the gooseneck shape is different from the other pot stills. The pot still is comprised of the copper pot, the low wine retort, high wine retort, and condenser. And so when we start the distillation at 7%, we end up at the condenser with rum at 86% alcohol by volume. Now, depending on how we do our fermentation and distillation cuts, we can produce several different types of pot still rums with different sensory flavor profiles and chemical characteristics. And each of those is referred to as a mark. And of course, so we have a large number of marks being produced in the pot still category. The other type of distillation is a more modern method, which is known as the column still method. And this is comprised of 3 stainless steel columns. So we introduce a fermented wash into the first column. And at the end of the third column, we now have our rectifier where we can collect rum at different levels. And each level, that rum has its own chemical specification, its own sensory flavor profile. So we can have several different marks in the column still category. Now, in your pot still rums, you're getting flavors that are bold, complex, with a distinctive orange peel top note, which is a hallmark of the Appleton Estate range. In the column still category, we're getting rums with subtle fruity notes such as pineapple, banana, coconut, and lychee aromas. Now, when we distill the individual marks, we ship them individually via road tankers, so we do not blend them together at Appleton. We ship them via road tankers into Kingston, and we dilute each of them to 80%. So the pot still is diluted from 86 to 80 for aging. The column still from 95% to 80% for aging. We age in number 1 select once used bourbon barrels, which are the most expensive barrels in the industry, because we build quality in our process. and we age for different periods of time. And this is where the final transformation takes place, where you have three main processes taking place in aging. You have extraction, oxidation, and evaporation. In the extraction process, we are pulling out compounds from the lignin and the cellulose of the oak, producing our distinctive vanilla, spicy, coffee, cocoa notes, and of course, the tannins, which gives that golden color. In the oxidation process, we are creating long-chain fatty acids, where you have a combination of your alcohol combining with acids to create esters. And these long-chain fatty acids is what give additional nice fruity notes to the rum. At the end of the aging process, we then combine the different pot still and column still rums, different percentages, different ages, to create the various expressions that we have in the Appleton Estate range.
Absolutely amazing. So now we've kind of heard how it starts. Should we start with the Appleton signature?
Okay. So this is our Appleton Estate signature blend. Let me come close up. So this is the entrance into the estate range. Now, this rum does not have an age statement. And I need to emphasize that because we have changed our package, the liquid for signature is the same. Persons have the belief that because we have changed the package, the liquid for signature has changed. No, it has not changed. No, actually, signature has been around for a very long time. We first introduced it as under the name Appleton Estate VX in 1986. So it has been around in the market for a long time, and it has gone through several package changes, and now finally to this new package. Now, if we take a glass of our signature, it has a nice harvest gold color. And of course, on the nose, you're getting those beautiful orange peel, apricot, peach, hint of molasses, nice fruity notes, which makes this rum perfect as a mixer. So that's the beauty about signature. It's great for cocktails. And I like to enjoy this in a good daiquiri. And maybe Jomo can tell you more about his daiquiri style with signature.
So I may have, one step ahead. So I've actually got all the little kit that I need to make a daiquiri. This is one of I'm massively biased because this is my favorite cocktail, favorite way to enjoy a rum for kind of the first time. It's, for me, like a daiquiri, it's just the epitome of what a perfect cocktail is. It teaches you the understanding of balance of flavor. Because it is so simple and so clean, it enables whatever rum you're using as the base to really shine through. So from years of like working as a bartender, every time you got your hands on a new rum and you wanted to understand it on a level, once you've kind of tasted it in the glass, to understand what it's going to be like in a cocktail, we always make it into a daiquiri, and it just opens it up in a whole different way. So a daiquiri is an incredibly simple drink. It's just effectively a combination of rum, lime, and sugar in a ratio that creates balance. And because you're using fresh lime juice from actual proper limes, not something that you bought in a packet, the fresh fruit is always going to be slightly different depending on how ripe it is, how long you've had it for. So it enables you to kind of make the drink and then adjust it a little bit to get it that perfect balance, and really teach you a lot about making cocktails.
Yes, and the Jamaican limes are so much more acidic.
Right.
When the bartenders from Europe come, they realize that they have to adjust the amount of lime juice in the
amazing.
Yes.
I did some work in Kenya years ago to training and developing cocktails, and the limes there were incredible. They were like a mixture of lemon and lime juice, like just completely different flavor profile, but just brings something. And it's, again, you open your mind to like all these different varieties of limes, not just the ones that you find in your local.
Yes, it's amazing.
So the Jamaican daiquiri, normally a daiquiri, well, historically, the first daiquiris are made with white rums. So you get that really clean citrus flavor. It's very kind of just bright in my opinion. But using signature, you kind of bring in a lot more of those honeyed kind of rounded fruit flavor profiles, which for me makes a daiquiri just a lot rounder and a lot softer and just absolutely delicious. And again, I'm biased. It's my favorite cocktail. So this I'm going to use 2 ounces, so just under 70 milliliters of rum. I'm trying not to spill it all over my desk.
And while you're doing that, Jomo,
Yep.
in Jamaica, we use brown sugar syrup because it adds a complete different dimension to the daiquiri.
So I've used, as a nod to that, I've used almost a slightly darker than just pure white cane sugar syrup. So again, just as I trying to get as close to that Jamaican sugar syrup as I can make. And this, if you're making cocktails at home, is just incredibly easy. It's just equal parts sugar and water, just mix together until it's dissolved. Boil a kettle, pour it over some sugar, and you've got yourself that sugar syrup. And if you wanted to get creative, this is really easy to just then put other flavors, put a couple of vanilla pods in there and flavor your syrup. It's just a really, really easy way to start imparting flavor into cocktails.
I put a little pineapple in mine.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, it gives that little kick to the fruitiness in the
and then I've taken the liberty of just fresh squeezing some lime juice because I'm absolutely going to have some more daiquiris later tonight.
Yeah, it's such a good drink. Simple, easy to make, but just so delicious.
And then with this, I'm going to shake it with ice. And what that, of course, does is mixes everything together, but obviously brings down the temperature. And when you're drinking anything that is alcoholic, when you bring that temperature down, it enables you to taste the flavors and kind of not so much feel the alcohol. So you're kind of, bring the temperature down so your palate can just experience all the different subtleties in there. So a good shake. Woo. And just strained into a little chilled coupette cocktail style glass.
Ooh, looks delicious.
Yeah. So
I just love a daiquiri.
Cane to cocktail, where we talk about how Appleton Estate, I guess, and if you could explain like what we mean by that in terms of cane to cocktail.
Yes, so in other words, we control the entire process in the cane to cocktail. So we grow our own sugar cane, we control our fermentation, distillation, aging, and blending. And so quality is built into the process. And of course, as we said, signature is just great for making a nice daiquiri, any cocktail. In Jamaica at the Joyce Spence Appleton Estate Experience, we have what is known as a Stormy Valley. And that is just simply mixing signature with some lime juice, bitters, and Jamaican ginger beer. So, you know, we have so many variants that you can make with signature and appreciating that beautiful flavor profile, those fruity apricot, peach, and molasses notes in that rum.
Beautiful. I've said before I'm biased, but that's definitely in my top of my list of desert island cocktails. So should we now move on to the 8-year-old, the brand new baby in the range?
Brand new baby in the range. So this is our now 8-year-old reserve, which we have now reintroduced. And I actually created this rum to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Appleton Estate. And so it was available some time ago in Europe and Asia Pacific. And then we decided to go to what we call the International Reserve. But because now our aim now is to become, the leader in the premium age rum category, we had to introduce more age expressions, minimum age expressions into the range. And so the 8-year-old is really an amazing rum because what is so special about it is that it is extremely versatile. What do I mean by that? You can enjoy it neat or in what we call a very elevated cocktail. So I have a glass with the 8-year-old reserve. And it has a nice honeyed bronze color. And on the nose, you're getting beautiful, spicy, fruity notes on the top note. So if I swirl the glass and release the Appleton spirit, I'm now getting warm honeyed oak, twisted with a little vanilla and a little almond. Now, on the taste, because as I said, you can either have this neat or in what we call elevated or elegant cocktails, it is absolutely amazing. Smooth, warm, honeyed oak finish that lingers. No, if you have at home, you can break it with a little water. Just put a little water in the glass to break up the spirit and release the aroma some, some more. And you can do that, and you can get all those beautiful spicy fruity notes, warm honeyed oak, vanilla, almond, and a distinctive orange peel coming right through that glass.
That's something I noticed you said in a previous tasting about how to look at it. It almost has like a green.
Yeah, I'm going to do that with the next one.
Oh, okay.
So for those who are tasting the 8, I'm sure you're enjoying it. And of course, we have a versatility exception for it. So we're actually promoting the original Mai Tai as a cocktail for the 8-year-old.
Lily Rose has suggested.
Are you going to do Mai Tai, or are you just going to talk about it?
I'm just going to talk about the Mai Tai. Lily Rose has said, is this a good pairing for spicy popcorn or Gouda cheese? What would you recommend?
Yes. Well, in Jamaica, I like to have the 8-year-old with jerk lobster with a pineapple topping. It's so delicious because the spiciness of the jerk actually complements the spiciness in the rum. But recently we have done smoked Gouda, and it is an amazing pairing. But anything that's smoked goes very well with 8-year-old reserve. So smoked marlin, you name it, anything that's smoked or spicy goes very well with the 8-year-old. So even a good old curry goat goes very well with the 8-year-old because of the spice in the curry goat.
Amazing. No, it's a rum that I have very fond memories of. Again, from kind of the first time around bartending, it was a real kind of hallmark moment for me of like a rum that I absolutely fell in love with. So yeah, really, really amazing to see it back. So the cocktail Joy's talking about is a Mai Tai. So it's a drink that I think a lot of people have heard of, but not a lot of people. Probably people have had it in lots of different guises. So sometimes you get it in like a tiki glass with lots of ornate garnishes, but the true like original Mai Tai from like 1944 is very similar. It's almost like an evolution from a daiquiri. So it's rum, curacao, which is an orange liqueur, typically made with curacao oranges, which are they slightly more bitter, would you say, like the normal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Bitter orange.
Yeah. So again, pairs just perfectly with the kind of orange peel notes that we get across the Appleton estate rums. So you've got rum, orange liqueur for these bitter oranges, orgeat, which is a kind of a more almond flavored sugar syrup. It's got a little bit of orange flower water in there as well. It's a really slightly perfumed, rich almond flavored syrup, and then fresh lime juice, which you find in so many rum cocktails, is like a perfect pairing. So those shaken really well together, poured over crushed ice, garnished with a big sprig of mint. It's just an absolutely delicious drink. And originally made all those years ago with a Ray Nephew 17-year-old. Is that correct?
Ray Nephew 17. So the original Mai Tai was made with a Ray Nephew 17, and that liquid was actually produced at Appleton Estate, but it was under the Ray Nephew brand. So this is why we're promoting the original Mai Tai, not the variations that we have. We have so many variations of the Mai Tai on the market, but to stick to the traditional one that is associated with Appleton Estate.
Yeah, it's again a lovely drink, and again it's one of these like, because it's so closely linked to the daiquiri, just a perfectly balanced,
yes,
absolutely delicious.
Yes, perfectly balanced. I really enjoy a very good Mai Tai, an original Mai Tai.
And there's your cocktail as well, the Joy's cocktail.
Oh yeah, the Joy's cocktail, which is simple and easy to make. I just put 1.5 ounces of the 8-year-old in a glass, put a slice of orange, add a few drops of Angostura bitters on the pulp, muddle it. Then I add some cracked ice on top with ginger ale, and it's just delicious, refreshing. And I enjoy, especially on a nice warm afternoon in Jamaica, I sit around in my garden underneath the mango tree, and I just enjoy Joy's cocktail.
Amazing. No, a ginger ale I think is a lovely. It's a little bit underappreciated, I think, in the UK. It's as a mixer, but I think it's starting to kind of get a bit of a comeback because that has that little bit more of a dryness that allows you to kind of
exactly
not overwhelm some of the flavors that you're trying to get out from the rum.
And it is not sweet, It's right. It's important because we don't really, our rums are too good to be adding so many sugars. You don't want to enjoy the flavor of the base rum. You want the flavor of the base rum to actually shine through the cocktail.
Yeah.
Which is so important for Appleton Estate.
Fantastic. We've got a couple of questions just in the chats while we're here. Karen suggests that next time Whiskey Exchange should organise a food pairing to go with these samples. So we should maybe get some.
Yes, we do wonderful food pairing with our rums. Absolutely delicious.
I think the orders for jerk lobster would be probably. And then Ashley Hall says, just complimenting on how amazing the Joy Anniversary blend was. And now it seems to be finished in the UK. Is there any more plans to release any more of it?
Unfortunately, that was just a one-time production, the Joy's Anniversary blend. It really, really did well internationally. It got the Rum of the Year in 2017. It has a very special place in my heart because I was waiting one day for somebody to say, make your own rum, not influenced by the marketing team. And I had this 35-year-old pot still Mark sitting down waiting in the wings just for that call one day. And so that 35-year-old pot still Mark became the heart and soul of the blend. But I did use 25-year-old pot still rums and column still rums to complete the blend. And so it had a minimum age of 25 years, although the oldest rum was 35.
It's incredible. And it probably leads us nicely to talk about the tropical aging and how in the world of a whiskey show, how that brings something totally different.
Well, tropical aging in Jamaica makes the rum age 3 times as fast as it would say in the UK. And this has been proven scientifically. The Scotch Whisky Institute have actually sent Scotch to Jamaica to age, compare the same base aging in Scotland, and identify this 3-to-1 ratio. And so what is happening is that extraction and oxidation process is taking place at a much faster rate. So we're creating the vanilla, coffee, cocoa, spicy, and fruity notes much more quickly. And this is because we're aging at 80% in the barrel. In Jamaica, it's very hot in the daytime. And so it expands rapidly into the pores of the barrel. It gets cool at night, and so you have this contraction. So you have this wide contraction and expansion taking place between day and night. And while that is happening, these interactions are taking place with the oak, creating these amazing flavors. But in the UK, it's cold. I don't want to say it, but cold morning and night. So you have a narrow movement taking place day and night. So it takes a much longer time for this extraction and oxidation process to take place. And so our 21-year-old rum, for example, would have to be aging for 63 years in the UK to get that same flavor complexity and profile.
I think that some Scottish distiller friends of mine would say it's a gentle aging process in Scotland. Is a polite way of saying it's cold and wet all the time.
No, they say that all the time. Oh, gentle aging. But you can pick up the difference. I'm telling you, if you have our 12-year-old rum beside a 12-year-old Scotch, when you taste the two, because the Scotch has less vanilla, because of the lack of tropical aging, you still get that bite at the end of that Scotch, whereas you don't get that bite with our 12 because of much more vanilla notes in it. And it's the vanilla that creates that smoothness on the tongue.
What's the difference in terms of season in Jamaica when you're talking kind of summer to winter in terms of change?
Well, in summer we have you can go up to 100 degrees. In winter, in Kingston, we go to in the daytime, probably 78 degrees. And that is when everybody's wearing literally sweaters and a winter coat, 78 degrees. You don't really have a wide range, but people laugh when we talk about our winter at 78 degrees.
Well, I don't know how you cope the cold temperatures of 78 degrees. I mean,
I don't know. People are shivering. Sometimes it gets very cool at Appleton and in the hills going through Appleton in between December, January, February. And so when I'm driving to Appleton, I will see if I'm leaving early, at 6 o'clock in the morning, I see people in puffer coats on the roadside. Very funny.
I guess linking on from that, I got a question from Patrick in the chat here. Yeah. What's the annual Angels share?
Yes, our average is because of the tropical aging and the temperatures, an average of 6% per annum in comparison to an average of 2% in the UK. So people ask the question, you know, so what happens to the rum after 21 years if you're losing an average of 6%? Well, if you left that barrel without doing anything with it, you would have no rum to bottle after 21 years. It would have all been evaporated through the pores of the barrel. So every 3 years, we have what is known as a refilling exercise, where we line up barrels of the same mark, the same age, the same birth date. And then what we do is check each barrel to make sure the flavors are okay. Then we empty them and then fill the barrels back immediately up to brimful, because it is that headspace. Let me see if I can show you. This is my glass of water, but there is a headspace here now between air and the liquid. The more headspace you have, the greater the evaporation loss. So when we refill these barrels back up to brimful with the same liquid, we have reduced this headspace, and so we reduce the evaporation loss. So our 50-year-old rum, for example, we started out with 26 barrels and we ended up with 13 at the end of that process. And we're able to recover 13 just by doing this refilling exercise.
Wow. Yeah, amazing. Is it called an Angel's share in?
Yes, well, in the industry it's called the Angel's share, but in Jamaica it's known as the Duppy share. And they say the reason why they call it Duppy, because that's what we refer to as a spirit in Jamaica, is that the Duppies know where there's good rum, so they spend a lot of time in the warehouse pulling the rum out of the barrels.
Not a bad place to be, floating around in the ether.
When you go into a warehouse that has like 40,000 barrels, or you're blown over, you have to let it go for a bit before you can actually enter, because the alcohol vapor is so strong inside it.
Wow. Well, when we're allowed to travel again, I will be again looking for those.
I'm sure you will.
Amazing. So shall we move on to the 12-year-old?
Sure.
On to the next one.
So we're going on to 12 now. Let me get my bottle. And this is where I, want to tell everyone that the 12-year-old rare cask is really a very special blend, because this is a blend that I use to convert whiskey drinkers. And I've done a lot of conversion with this rum. So, of course, it has a minimum age of 12 years, which is what we adhere to in Jamaica. So it's similar to the Scotch whiskey system of describing age. Unfortunately, the rum industry is not an even playing field when it comes to age statements. So you do have rums that also have an average age declared on their label. And then you have Solera rums, which actually declares what is the oldest rum in a particular style of blending. So important to note. And remember now, this would have to be aging for 36 years in Scotland to get all these beautiful flavors that we're going to look at. So I have my glass of 12. And before we start, I'm going to take you through the steps of how best to appreciate a high-end rum, such as our 12-year-old. So first, you'd hold the glass to the light to examine the rum for its nice, deep bronze color. If you look right on the surface of the liquid, there is an olive green shadow known as the green ring of aging. Now, this green ring is as a result of the tannins extracted from the oak reflecting the light. Now, the older the rum, the more pronounced is this green ring. Now, believe it or not, rum can be classified into bodies just like wines. So you have light-bodied, medium-bodied, and full-bodied rums. And this rum has sat in the barrel for a minimum of 12 years. So it has become a very rich, full-bodied rum. So if you lean your glass and bring it back to an upright position and wait a while, you'll notice 6 syrupy legs moving very slowly down the sides of the glass, indicating that this is a nice, rich, full-bodied rum. Now we're going to look at the aromas in the 12-year-old. First, the top nose, by simply putting the glass to your nose. And this is where we're getting that beautiful orange peel top note, wrapped with a little molasses and a hint of spice. Now, if you swirl the glass and release the Appleton spirit, This is now you're releasing those beautiful vanilla, a little almond, spicy fruit, cocoa, and some coffee notes. Now, this rum is perfect just for having neat, or if you want to have it with a few cubes of ice or open it up with water. So let's take a sip and enjoy our Appleton Estate Rare Blend 12-year-old. Smooth, mellow, complex, a nice, bittersweet, luscious finish, comparable to any good single malt. This is absolutely amazing. I always say the rum is too good, so let's take another drink. It's 12:21 in Jamaica, but that's a good time to drink here. So let's take another sip. Now, whenever we're doing our tasting with our rare cask 12-year-old, if you have dark chocolate, like about with 70% cocoa, take a sip of the rum, then take a bite of the dark chocolate and sip again. And you're going to note this magical transformation where that bitterness of the chocolate completely disappears. And you get this wonderful explosion of flavors on the back of your tongue. This is because the rum itself has cocoa notes in it, so it complements the cocoa in the chocolate. So we do a lot of food pairing, you know, with chocolate with this particular type of rum. And of course, we have an exception for a cocktail with the 12 if you wish to make a cocktail. And I guess Jomo will talk about the cocktail promoting the Blue Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I adore 12-year-old. It just to kind of progress from signature to 8 to 12, just the complexity and just how long the tasting it for is just incredible. So the cocktail we make with this is incredibly simple. It's called a Blue Mountain, and it just includes the addition of some fresh coffee beans, Jamaican if you can get hold of them, but ideally something that has that chocolatey spice kind of flavor profile to the coffee. And then just in the bottom of a rocks glass under ideally a nice big ice cube, just to crack those coffee beans to release some of those essential oils. And it just, again, like we had with the daiquiri, where you're creating a drink that is, in that case, very, very citrusy, but well balanced to bring out flavors of that rum. This takes in a totally different direction. So this is there to just kind of lift and enhance some of those kind of more richer, spicier coffee chocolate flavors that you're getting now in this expression of rum. So really simple way if you wanted to just kind of take it a step further than just enjoying it on its own. But yeah, just absolutely in love with this rum.
I would like to emphasize that if you're going to do the Blue Mountain, and it's difficult to get Blue Mountain coffee beans, roasted coffee beans, important, it must be roasted, is that you look for any coffee that is made from Arabica beans. Robusta beans give a completely different flavor profile. And Arabica is premium, and so look for Arabica beans to do this Blue Mountain serve for this cocktail.
It's a really good point, because Robusta I find are a little bit more, I guess, citrusy, kind of berry flavor.
And it has a lot of caffeine in it.
Right.
Right. Whereas Arabica is low in caffeine and nice, beautiful vanilla notes. So that's what really complements, you know, the vanilla notes in the rare cask 12-year-old.
Amazing. So I guess that takes us now to
luxury. So we're into luxury now. Appleton Estate 21, and you notice that I don't have a full bottle because I on special moments go in and take a sip of 21. So this is what our 21-year-old package looks like. It has gone through a lot of transformation in terms of package upgrade. And we actually launched this in the estate range in 1988. So it has been around for a long time. And persons thought that we were very crazy to be bottling a 21-year-old rum in the 80s, because in that time, people were still just concentrating on cocktails for rum, getting a good kick from the alcohol instead of enjoying the complexity of the spirit. But we had a vision and foresight, and so we had put down stocks for this day today where we can supply a large number of bottles to the market for a 21-year-old minimum age rum. So we're going to take you through the tasting for the 21. And first of all, it has a nice deep mahogany hue, the color. And of course, if you look at that green ring, it's absolutely amazing because it has more tannins. And of course, those legs are very thick and viscous, moving very slowly down the sides of the glass. It takes a little while for those legs to form because this rum has been sitting for a minimum of 21 years in the barrel. So let's take you through the notes. Top note. You're still getting that distinctive orange peel with a hint of molasses with that beautiful orange peel top note. And you're really getting that orange peel really coming through because of the pot still that we use, the pot still mark that we use in this 21. Now, when we swirl and release the Appleton spirit, we're getting what we call warm toasted oak notes, beautiful cocoa, vanilla, a little hazelnut, and of course, delicate spicy undertones, and a hint of almond and butterscotch, and a little toffee. There's almost a little smokiness to it too. So let's take a sip to know the finish of this luxurious rum, our Appleton Estate, which will be known as in next year when we have our new package, it will be known as the Nassau Valley Cask. But we have not gone to that package exchange. Change as yet, so you'll see it in the old package that I just showed you. But eventually it will be known as the Nassau Valley Cask. So let's take a sip. Oh, this is so smooth, complex, and you're not getting those beautiful vanilla, coffee notes, still with that spiciness. The finish is absolutely amazing. It's lingering, it's long and complex. Again, if you wish, put a few cubes of ice or open it up with water if you wish. Let's take another sip again. So this is a pure sipping rum. Appleton Estate 21. A phenomenal rum. And so we have looked at the estate range in its entirety. And you can see that we have a rum for any occasion in the range, starting with Signature, which is good for cocktails, nice party. Then we get a little bit more sophisticated now with the 8, 12, and 21. With the 8 and 12, we have exceptions for having what we call elegant cocktails. And for 21, simply neat. And persons who smoke cigars, the 21 goes very well with cigars. And I actually, for cigar smokers, what I do is I actually infuse cigars like a day before with the rum. So I put the cigar in a container, then put a container with the 21, and I seal the container. And so the vapors and aromas from the rum goes into the cigar. And when you smoke that cigar, I'm not a cigar smoker, but everyone who does that, right, says it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. It's a rum that I have to admit I've not probably drank for a number of years, and I was saving it just for so that you could talk me through it. But it's just an absolutely phenomenal rum. And like you said, something that's 21 years old in Jamaica is just so rare.
Yes, a long time.
Yeah. So there's a question from Tom in the chat saying that he could listen to you and your accent all evening. So you may need to stick around. His question is, what percentage of the rum is exported out of Jamaica? And do you keep the good stuff back in Jamaica?
Oh, no, well, remember that for the estate range in Jamaica, it's just a small volume because the big volume in Jamaica is relatively overproof. So the majority of the estate range is exported. Our number one market is Canada, followed by the US, then Mexico, then UK.
Okay, so we've got another 15 minutes. So if anyone has got any questions they would love to ask to Joy, please just pop them in the chat. But I think it's probably a good opportunity as well. We've talked so much about the liquid in the bottles, and we've gone through now a reimagining and rebranding of the packaging. And for me, there's just so much detail that's gone into
so we can go some more into the package. So first of all, people say, why do you want to do this package upgrade? And as I said before, our goal is to become leader in the premium age rum category. And so we had to do a package revamp to, make the statement. And so we changed the bottle. It's a little bit more elongated, but it still has that, original shape. We now have a cork finish for all the expressions. We now have a beautiful neck label, which is the estate scene. And then we have on all the labels, the insignia, Appleton Estate insignia, which we created for the range. And so the insignia is really a combination of 5 Jamaica's national symbols. And so we have it's right behind me here on my wall. So we're celebrating our national tree, our national flower, our flag, the ackee from the ackee and sawfish, which is our national dish, which you see as a part on the label. And of course, last but not least, our beautiful Dr. Bird, which is our national bird, the hummingbird. And the hummingbirds are very pronounced on the labels. You'll see them to the side of the labels. So in essence, this new package change was actually celebrating the spirit and passion of the Jamaican people, which shines through the liquid in every bottle.
Amazing. So, yeah, Patrick, just in the chat, some very, very high praise. Loving the 21-year-old, smoother and longer finish than the 8 or 12. More layers of flavors develop in the glass. Great stuff. And I think, yeah, for me, as something that if you're talking to somebody who is so well versed in the world of whiskey, maybe has overlooked rum, to introduce them to a rum of that level, they just cannot help to be blown away by it. I
know, because it's still, for whiskey drinkers who have never really had a premium aged rum, when they taste a good premium aged rum, they're saying, oh, this is amazing. I just didn't understand rum to be so complex and sophisticated.
And I guess as well, I guess my thoughts on it was like the similarities between Jamaica and Scotland, where Scotland in the world of whiskey is one of the few places that has restrictions and has a quality control as to how things are made, and Jamaica with all the different regulations that kind of signify quality and consistency in the rums, for minimum age statements, where the rest of the world of rum is a little bit freer to kind of put things on labels that maybe point you in a different direction. But I think that's something so special about Jamaica.
Yes, because that's the unfortunate thing in the rum industry. It's not an even playing field like Scotch, and where everybody follows the same rules. And so each country has their own regulations. And what we have been seeing is a lot of, independent bottlers purchasing bulk Jamaica rum, adding other rum to it, but still labeling it as Jamaica rum. And so we took a stand where we had to protect Jamaica rum, and we developed a geographical indicator for Jamaica rum. Because we just don't want to dilute our heritage. And it's important to note that in our rums, we do not have any additives. So we don't have any additives in the Appleton Estate range or Jamaica rums. Our rums must remain pure and authentic, because that's what we're about, being very authentic.
Yeah, I think that's the amazing thing about rum, is that it has such a vibrant range of flavors that you get from that spirit, where we've done tastings before where people are trying the rums neat and they think it's been spiced or they think it's been sweet.
Yes.
It's just, it's how popular spiced rum is now. We were talking to Ian Burrell, rum ambassador, this week, and he made a really good point that good rum is sweet and is spiced on its own. It doesn't need anything else adding to it afterwards.
We don't need to have anything else added to it. And I need to emphasize that our rums are allergen free. Because, what we're describing, the notes that we're talking about, almond and hazelnut, people are saying who are allergic to nuts, says, oh my God, I can't drink it. I said, no, we do not add these flavors. They're naturally derived, so it does not have that effect at all on you. So it's totally allergen free.
And which is why it's just the best ingredient to start your cocktails with, because you've got years and years of work and flavor developing, so that even with something as simple as a daiquiri, you just have all of these wonderful, amazing flavors coming through it, even just with a couple more ingredients added to it. But amazing. So
it's a good baseline for the cocktails. That's because you started with something that is natural and pure, and then you decide as a mixologist or a bartender what you're going to add on top of it to create your own special, mixes.
Absolutely. Brilliant. I think if there's any more questions from anybody in the chat, now is literally one of the most amazing opportunities to ask as one of the most iconic people in the rum world. Mm-hmm. Okay, Tom's actually just dropped into the question. So one for
yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you see a trend towards rum as the next big thing, or have they been saying that for years? Will rum get the interest that whiskey has?
Well, if you look at the analysis, the growth analysis, the premium aged rum category, that's the one that's growing significantly. And rum is definitely going to be the next hot spirit in another premium aged rum, that is, in the next 5 years, because all the indicators are showing this. And that's why everyone is coming out with their own little, small batches of, limited time offerings, because they do recognize that this is really going to be the next level for rum, that premium aged rum category. And this is why we're making a strong statement with the Appleton Estate range that we're going to become the leader in that particular category. So finally, premium rum is going to find its day in the sun.
I think it's just such an exciting time to be working not only in spirits but in rum in particular, because I think certainly from my experience in the UK, like being knowledgeable about what you're spending your money on is cool again. Like now there is like kind of young bartenders and young people going out into bars and restaurants, because you see people talking about rum and about cocktails on like every Saturday morning cooking show, and it's just now giving it the kind of shining a light on all of the amazing world of spirits and rum that's out there. So knowledge is cool again, and people are going out there armed with that education and just kind of excited about discovering something new and sharing it with people of a like mind. So I think it's a massively exciting time.
Yes, because you're finding that the millennials and Generation X and whatever generation you call the different expressions, is that they're now very interested in quality and not quantity. Whereas baby boomers used to just drink anything and say, oh yes, I just drink a rum. But when it comes to millennials, they're very serious about their spirit, and they want to know the provenance, the history, what makes it so different, the flavor profiles. And so this is now taking it to a different generation and a different level of thinking when it comes to premium aged rums and premium spirits in general.
Yeah, I think people are, like you said, people are so much more interested in what's in their glass. And they love things that have got, like you said, provenance and a story to them. And we're just so lucky to have all of this in our recipe book.
Yes, we're so fortunate that Appleton has been able to lay down, stocks of very old rums. I mean, we have over 180,000 barrels aging among our 17 warehouses. So we have a large stock of very old rums to be able to continue to supply the market with this amazing range.
Amazing. Yeah, Tom has just made a point that rum is very Instagrammable, which is...
Yes, as we say, approachable Instagram. It creates the excitement in the youth. And I think in a more sophisticated way, they're very eager to learn and to understand and to do their own little mixes, especially in a time like this where everything is virtual. Everybody's trying to do something at home and understand much more. So I think from an educational platform, we've been able to get the message out, I think, much more, because on any given day, I'm speaking to 3 different continents. Now, when I used to travel, that was impossible. Right? So there's a positive side to all of this.
And I think Tom's got a final question, which I think is a really nice one to wrap up on is, okay, so what is the greatest Appleton rum of all time?
Oh, my goodness.
Well done, Tom.
Oh, I mean, you have so different levels of being great. I think the 50-year-old for the anniversary of Jamaica's 50th anniversary was really a phenomenal blend. How many other producers created a 50-year-old rum, providing 1,440 bottles for the market? They might have come up with about 2 bottles. So you looked at the volume that we produce and the celebration of this rum. I think, yes, the Appleton is 50-year-old.
I'm going to find it very difficult to argue with that. I think I'm definitely hoping to try and get a try at some point soon. So as a bit of just to sign off, so to keep up to date with everything we've got kind of coming out, events and news that's coming out of Appleton, follow us on the Instagram. So Appleton Rum UK is the Instagram account. This has been, I'm just going to be speaking personally, this has been absolutely fantastic to kind of be taken through these rums by yourself, Joy. And for those of you who've just joined the chat, or if those of you who want to get hold of the rums, Whiskey Exchange, you can buy the sample pack that has samples of every single one of these rums and re-watch this session and just get some of that experience yourself firsthand. So I just want to say from myself, thank you so much, Joy, for joining us and taking us through this like amazing hour. And thank you everyone else for joining us in the chat.
I just like to hail up Miguel from Barbados. Kudos to Barbados for creating excellent rums too. Right? Keep doing a good job, Barbados.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, Joy. And thank you everyone in the chat.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.